Harry's wife. The childhood misery of Harry's wife. I've explained in parts passim that Harry's wife had two narcissists in her life, her father and her mother. Different types. Self-centred, but in differing ways. Thomas Markle Sr. believed himself to be a good person, that he managed a facade of being a good father and took on the mantle of responsibility when Doria disappeared. Doria, a different type of narcissist herself, went missing. It remains a mystery as to where she went to, but there was a significant period of her life where she had nothing to do with her daughter. Both of them narcissists, different subschools, and exhibiting their narcissism in different ways. The impact of this on Harry's wife is twofold. First, the genetic predisposition towards narcissism could come from both of them, meaning that there was a strong possibility that she would also have that genetic predisposition. Furthermore, the environment in which she found herself would invariably be that of a lack of control, and her only prospect of avoiding becoming a narcissist herself would be if somehow the genetic predisposition skipped her, possible but unlikely, or there was an intervener, someone that shielded her from the lack of control environment. That simply was not the case. And as a consequence of the fact that the genetic predisposition was with her and that she was exposed to a lack of control environment, so for instance, she might well have witnessed arguments between her parents, the fact that her father treated her like the princess that she wanted to be, that always allowed her to do what she wanted, told her she was amazing and brilliant in circumstances where she actually wasn't, alongside the fact that she had no maternal influences for a considerable period of time, the fact that her mother in essence abandoned her, which of course would have caused her to question her own value and self-worth. These factors all came together to coalesce and cause her to become a narcissist. The children of narcissists, whether they become narcissists themselves or not, often, but not always, have miserable childhoods. Some are beaten, some are sexually abused, some are neglected, others have no emotional support, others are told to do this, do that, sit there, shut up. Others are excluded from friends and family. Others find themselves simply the puppet of the narcissist in an ongoing war against the non-narcissist parent. Dragged from pillar to post, perhaps moving between separate homes as a consequence of the demise of the relationship between their parents and everything that comes with it. It is a miserable time for the child of one or more narcissists. With Harry's wife, it will have been no different, save that it's what forged her to become a narcissist. And interestingly, she wrote a poem about her parents' divorce. It was described as a heartbreaking poem about Mother Doria Ragland and Father Thomas Markle's divorce. The poem was actually referenced in Harry's wife's Netflix docuseries titled Harry and Harry's Wife. It references her raw emotions in the moment and weighs in on how she dealt with her parents' split. The poem was apparently written as part of a grade 12 assignment in Harry's wife's Los Angeles private school, Immaculate Heart High School. It stated as follows: 2 houses, 2 homes, 2 kitchens, 2 phones, 2 couches where I lay, 2 places that I stay. Moving here and there. From Monday to Friday, I'm everywhere. Don't get me wrong, it's not that bad, but oftentimes it makes me sad. I want to live that nuclear life with a happy dad and his loving wife, a picket fence, a shaggy dog, a fireplace with a burning log. But it's not real, it's just a dream. I cannot cry or even scream. So here I sit with cat number 3. Life would be easier if there were 2 of me. Irrespective of what you might think about the merits of the poem, I've certainly read worse. What does it tell us about Harry's wife? Well, there'll be those that will read it and think, poor Harry's wife. What a shame. Yes, that very much demonstrates the misery of a childhood as being the child of divorced parents. The shuttling between two homes, the two of everything, no longer having two happy parents together. It doesn't tell us anything new about the world of a child of a divorce, but it does convey quite neatly what it is about. But understand that while she had insight into what it was like and how it would make her feel, the purpose of writing this was, naturally, in order to assert control over other people. It was written to make people feel sorry for her, because their pity would make them show that they were under control. It would also enable her to draw fuel from people's responses by saying, what a lovely poem, so sad, oh, it's heartbreaking to see how that is, poor child. It also would enable her to assert control indirectly over her parents. She doesn't go so far as to blame one or both of them for what has happened. No, it's naturally all about her, talking about how it impacts upon her in moving from here to there, that it makes her sad, that what she wants, that she believes that it would be easier if there were just two of her, making people feel sorry for her. It's all about her, as usual. There's no apportionment of blame, which you might think is somewhat unusual for a narcissist, but in this particular poem, she requires the focus to be firmly upon her. But it would also serve as an indirect assertion of control over her parents, because the sympathy that people would exhibit for her circumstances would tell her that she's right, that she's the victim, and not only would that show that they were under control, but it would enable her to feel that subconsciously she had control over her parents, because people agree that her circumstances that they effectively put her in are difficult, and it's a shame for her. She doesn't genuinely feel sad, because as a narcissist she's incapable of that. She's just led to believe that she feels sadness, and her sadness isn't ever for anybody else. It would only ever be manufactured for the purposes of causing her to dole out a pity play. She doesn't sit around on her own feeling sad. That serves no purpose. Simply when it's necessary for her to convey her circumstances to the outside world in order to control it and draw fuel from it, her narcissism compels her to believe that she is sad, so she writes in such terms, which then achieves the prime aims. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.